All right, good evening, everybody. Coming at y'all with another little quick video here. Y'all have seen videos from me in the past comparing these two trucks. Um, we've got the good old reliable Traxxas Sledge, and then we've got the good old reliable Arrma Kraton. The good old good old Arrma versus Traxxas battle. And so I've had both of these trucks for about around 6 months now. Actually, I take that back. It's about 4 months for the Kraton, and it's been about 6 months for the Sledge. I've made a couple of upgrades, but for the most part, the heart and soul of these two vehicles has pretty much remained unchanged. The Kraton, you've seen me do. I've done videos in the past on it and everything else. It's got sway bars on it. It's still got the factory servo. Haven't burned it up, you guys. I did add a cooling fan to this to the motor here. Honestly, probably doesn't need it, but I like the way it looks anyway, and there's no such thing as too much cooling. And so I've replaced the wing on it. I put this is actually off of an Erevo that I got from the local hobby shop. I just wanted something smaller that wasn't so gaudy, for lack of a better term. I've added the wheelie bar to it along with the anodized metal wheels. And in the most recent additions that I've made to this truck have been, forgot about the RPM bumper. If you don't have one, highly recommend it. But the most recent additions have been these metal shock caps, because in the past I have experienced a shock cap blowing off on smaller vehicles that I've had. If you have the aluminum body with the plastic shock cap, you land kind of hard, and else you can blow the cap off. So went ahead and mitigated that, took care of that, done. But probably the best investment on either one of these trucks, I'll get to that one in a moment, is these Proline low profile tires. Yeah, this truck had, it had belted tires on it, these big old belted monster truck tires on it. But honestly, I took the advice. I'm going to go ahead and give it where it's due. If you haven't followed him, haven't seen this guy, Park Flyers RC from New Jersey. That's where I got the idea from for both of these trucks. But in particular, this truck right here, these lower profile tires, it brings the center of gravity of these trucks down so much, and it just makes them handle so much better. You'll see some. I'm going to be uploading some speed run videos that I ran up and down this street right here, the street that I live on, and yeah, they handle phenomenal. It drops the center of gravity down a lot. It keeps these low profile tires. If you want to ride wheelies, by all means, keep the monster truck tires on there. Keep the big belted tires on there, or non-belted tires, whatever. If you want to ride wheelies up and down the street, by all means, do that. But if you want to actually dial your vehicle in and make it handle so much better, I highly recommend these lower profile tires from Proline. They're not belted. They are, just a standard thing. But because they're lower profile, they don't balloon up as much when you get on the throttle, and so you maintain good contact patch on these tires as you're running up and down the road with these things. So for a racing application, whether it be drag racing, off-road drag racing, on-road drag racing, whatever the case may be, these tires just do way better with these trucks. Plus, let me take this truck, drop it down. You can see how low the chassis sits to the ground. I'm not a big man by any means, but you can see, I can barely get my hand underneath the whole chassis here without it touching. So you've got a very, very low center of gravity on this truck, and so it basically takes it away from handling like a monster truck like it does out the box, makes it handle more like a truggy. And the same goes for the Kraton over here. The Kraton, same thing. Haven't really made any upgrades to it. I did put the wing on it that it's off. This is actually the wing off of a TLR Typhon. So anybody wondering? Yes, it does fit. And excuse my language here, but it looks way fucking better than that gaudy ass thing that they put on this thing. out the box. If that's your style, go for it. I personally kind of like these squared off wings, because to me the squared off wing kind of goes along with the squared off body. This body's not really very well rounded, but it makes it look very stealth. But the biggest thing that I'm going to show you guys is with this truck is, you see that track width right there on this thing? That's the biggest thing. Now you've got a Kraton that essentially, to a degree, handles like Italian. So you get the looks of the Kraton. If that's your thing, if you like Italian, hey, by all means, do your thing. I kind of like the way these truck bodies look. I love stadium trucks. That's my thing. I love stadium trucks. That's never going to change. And so I kind of like the look of the truck body. And I also like kind of how this is kind of a hybrid. You don't have this, you have the Outcast, or in the case of the 6S, the Notorious. That's kind of your stunt truck. Then you've got the Italian, that's more or less your race car. And this is kind of a happy medium between the two. And I'll be honest, the reason why I got this truck, like I said, strictly was to do a comparison of it to this truck, just to see how the competition squares up. And so, like I said, I'll get into it in a moment and everything else. I've kind of had some issues with this truck, and I'll get into it in a moment and everything else. But overall, I mean, that is one hell of a nice looking truck, if I do say so. That track width of these Badlands LPs looks phenomenal on this truck. You've got the wider offset, so you've actually got a 0 offset on this tire. The mounting flange actually sits somewhere about right here in the middle, whereas on the factory wheel it sits more like over here. So this tire is actually moved in a little bit, and I love the fact that they got that's more or less gone. I love the fact that, like I said, it increased the handling of it, you increased the overall track width of it, and then and the same thing with the Sledge, you've lowered the center of gravity on this truck. Let me pop the body off right quick and kind of show. And so you can see, same thing. This truck does sit a little bit higher than the Sledge, so it does have a slightly higher center of gravity, but I mean, both of these trucks handle like a freaking dream now. And now I got no issues whatsoever. My only issue that I have now is traction, which these are both very powerful trucks when you run them on 6S. Now, that being said, what I will say is, I know this goes against, it kind of goes against what other people, other people's experiences. I don't really care. I haven't broken a damn thing on this Sledge. I've done some upgrades to it to help protect it. I did actually smack this up against I lightly tapped it up against a tree, and this bumper did its purpose. I did not hit anything on these control arms, and so I did not break anything. This bumper did exactly what it was intended to do, and it protected the truck itself from any further damage. I haven't had any issues with the electronics. I have never put this thing into thermal. I'm running stock gearing on it. I do have this chassis plate on the underside, and I do have the little spacers that help hold this, that help keep the motor mount in place. And yeah, I mein, like I said, I haven't had a lick of trouble with this truck. However, this truck, and that's why I'm kind of going to finish off with this video. This truck, however, I have had issues with the center diff, and now I'm having issues with the rear diff. And the issue that I've had is the spider gears on these things, on the insides of these things. I don't know if maybe I can kind of show in here. Let me see. Yeah, I can't really get a good picture in there, but inside the housing, gear-wise, ring gear-wise, haven't had a lick of issues with this thing. It's the spider gears is where I've been having trouble at. The spider gears have a little raised shoulder on it, and it shears. The spider gear shears just under the sheer torque of this truck, is what I'm guessing. And so what happens is you get a situation. Let me turn this. Kind of set the I'll kind of rest this right here, hopefully. Will it stay? And so, that may not work. That's it. There we go. I think that'll work, maybe. So, but what happens is you get a situation. So, I'm turning this tire this way, and you get this normal action right here. Well, you can, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm turning this tire and it's locking up. And the issue with that is that the differential itself, those spider gears, is actually locking. It's actually locking up the rear differential and tearing it up. I've already pulled this rear diff out. I went through it. I saw the issue. I pulled the fragments from it. I'm just waiting on a new set of spider gears to come in for it. I'll probably end up just ordering a whole new set of metal differentials, already pre-assembled. Not sure just yet, but I did want to bring that to your attention, guys. The other thing is, and this is something that I've noticed as well, is this wheelie bar. This wheelie bar just recently came back in stock. I wanted to kind of show so you can see. Apparently there was an issue. There was the old one, the old version, had the wheelie bar that mounted up in between the wing mount. As you can see, this one, it's got these two little handles that come across, and it mounts up on the outside of the wing mount. So if you're looking for it and everything else, I don't remember the part number right offhand, but it is, if you look on Amazon, make sure to get the one that mounts on the outside and not on the inside. And you can, when you look at it, you'll tell the difference. Go, if nothing else, go to Arrma's website, look up this wheelie bar, look up in the option parts for the 6S Kraton, either the EXB or the regular Kraton. You will find this wheelie bar. It was out of stock for a period of time. I actually had to wait about 3 months to finally get this wheelie bar before it finally came back in stock. And so, yeah. No more misconception. Make sure if you're going to put a wheelie bar on this thing to put this style on there, because that other style will not work. You can always upgrade to the RPM wing mount, but then run their style of wheelie bar. But there again, it's a RPM upgrade. You'll have to run the actual RPM wheelie bar. So all in all, that kind of does it for me with this video this evening, guys. It's getting kind of late, getting kind of dark out here, and it is a muggy one here down in South Louisiana. So I hope this was helpful, you guys, and I will and be sure to go check out the two speed run videos of this Kraton and of this Sledge. And as always, everybody, happy RCing.